can. You just do a half hitch, roll that over that, see if we can see if there's a way to do that. Kind of ran that out a little bit too far with the I want to go this way. Rotate. And we'll just get a little drop of glue on that. Now that we've got it, we'll let that dry for just a second. We'll go back through the eyelet and out the way we came, more or less. That fan is not helping me. Get that as tight as we can. I want to pull out any slack. Sometimes the super glue, when it comes around a bend like this, creates kind of a false, I don't know, mounting point. And that can wreak havoc with your alignment and tautness and all that stuff. So now we just need to go around this little pin up top here, and I think I'm going to flip us over. There we go. Just keep that from falling down. Alright, so you see how we're rigged here? We come off that T-pin through the eyelet there. I don't know if I'm getting too close, probably. We'll get this around that pulley, up above, and then back to the rudder. Let's hope I get this one positioned right again, where you all can see. So I want to wrap around the outside of this pulley, like this. There we go. And we don't want it flat on the deck like that. We want it up just a little bit. Of course, I popped it right off because I'm using an unclean toothpick. Let's see if I can pick it up with the pliers, or tweezers rather. I think what I want to do is wrap this underneath the pin. So let's go ahead and create that under wrap here. Slip it over and just work it that way. Now when we lift up, it'll lift the wire off the deck, which is how we want it. And we'll get a drop of glue on that. That's a good healthy one there. Okay. I'm going to give that a second to set up. Now we're okay, we're off the deck, so we won't have, if this were an actual control line, there'd be no friction with the float. It does cross the top of the float, but I mean, you're almost never going to be stepping back here. You know, so if we look at this as a real world, you know, situation, we're not causing any difficulty with our lines and connections here. And run that back like that, and we're going to be flipping the airplane over again. Let me get a drop of glue on that upper pulley. There we go. You see that doesn't look, you know, perfect as a pulley, but when I cut the little metal shroud, I'm going to cut out of probably cardstock or even paper, the little pulley shrouds, which are just kind of a little square shaped flange, and I'm going to place those at each of the upper pulley location. I think I'll leave these bald. I'll leave these alone the way they are. They don't look, I mean, it's not horrible, but at the fuselage, I think I'll put the shrouds on, the pulley shrouds. And that'll clean up that look, I think, just enough that we'll get away with it. Remember, don't tell anybody. Just be our secret. That's what I'm doing here. We want to come over the top here is what we want to do. I'm trying to go underneath, and it needs to go over the top. And that should be a knot, so let's do that. Come on, baby, pull tight. Come out to the end of the bar. Come on, baby. Pull up. There we go. Okay, just about out at the end. You don't want to be too far to the end. I mean, you don't want it to slip off. And then, you know, you have a situation where you've really got to cut everything free and start over. There's really no way back from that. So, whatever you do, don't let it pull completely off of the end, and so you just leave a little bit of a space there. Really put a good drop of adhesive on the ends of your control arms, and go back and hit it again if you want to, a couple of times if you want to. And the idea is to make sure we're a little bit flippy floppy here. Oops, yeah. Causing some situations. Let's another drop of glue right in there. Angle this back a little bit again. So we want that nice and tight. So let's pull that out backward. And here we're off. If you can see here, our line is off of the rigging line. On both sides we're clear. Should probably tighten that up a little bit. And we've got our replicated, we got a little loose here, I'll have to tighten that. We've got our rudder pull system ready to go. So now we're just going to cut. I hope I got this. I have a feeling now that the camera was not pointed where it needed to be, but I can't worry about it. Here. So we'll cut this free at the ends here. Yep. Alright. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that looks fine. Put this out of the way. Bring back our spinner. Set these up on the spinner. There we go. So now, as you can see, we've got our rudder control system rigged up. We're free of the step rail. We're free of the float itself. We're not dragging on the float, not dragging against the step rail. We're not dragging against the fuselage. We should be clear all the way around for free operation of our water rudder linked to the air rudder. Got all the rigging in place. So with the exception of my radio antenna, I was going to do that last anyway. See, if I was flipping the airplane over with those installed, we'd be having trouble. So anything like that, any little pieces or bits, and sometimes you might even omit them altogether, just because they're bound to get knocked off. But for picture day, you want the airplane to be as final as you can get it. and we're just about there. I'm going to go ahead and fabricate a couple of radio antennae, and then it'll be complete, ready for the baby pictures. Okie dokes. Everybody good with that? Later.